All right, and hopefully that works. Kind of watching my screen, sorry about that. And it looks like we are public. So hello, 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 and welcome back. It's Kelly, the Eclectic Empath, and I am here totally by surprise and totally shocked, but we have a special guest and we have a great topic that we're going to talk about. It is involving toxic relationships. Now, in our defense, first and foremost, this wasn't anticipated. My friend here came over and she started telling me a situation and I was like, let's go online and talk about this because this is good stuff. So hopefully, if anybody's out there and is interested in toxic relationships, toxic talks, we're going to have some terminology. I'm going to lay it on the line. I actually stopped her as she was telling me the story. I'm like, no, stop. I don't want to hear any more. Let's go live. So this is totally raw. So hopefully this works out. And if it's not working out, you know, maybe I'll do a video like this. So check it out. If anybody comes in here, we're not answering any questions until we're done with our discussion. But it looks like nobody's here right now, so that's cool. All right. Also, before I go ahead with this conversation, I do want to also put out there, I did have a question from an emailer that I have not gotten to yet. You know who you are, emailer. I am coming to address your concern and to film the video that you requested. We're going to have a video about how to make your manipulator or your narcissist leave you instead of you having to go through being discarded. So hopefully this is all working. Hey, if you're out there, can you let me know if the signal's working okay? I have a feeling that it's not. Somebody's out there. And in case you're just joining, we're not answering questions really until we're done with our discussion. I have a special guest star with me today. So I'm very excited. We're going to have a little toxic talk. So if you're out there, if you can just let me know if the stream is coming through. Knowing my luck, it's not. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and check my... You'll be able to see me better. So if you could not see me before, hopefully you can now. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and skip to my friend. And we are having a toxic talk and questions after we're done having our conversation. Also, if you are coming in here, can you let me know if the stream is going all right? And sorry about the harsh lights. Okay, so here, if that's okay, we're just going to go ahead and have our conversation. So right. Tell me about what's going on.
Well, about a week ago, I got contacted by somebody that just ghosted me. Had my back last summer for 6 months and ghosted me. And
were you guys in like a romantic type relationship or?
We were.
Okay.
We were.
I'm going to make this look a little different, but keep talking.
And it was public and yeah, we were. And I made it clear and set my boundaries that like we're together, and if you're gonna be with somebody else, then you and I aren't gonna be together.
Okay. And how did that work out?
And he was all right with that. And he let me know that we're together, and there's nobody else in our relationship. So nobody else was coming into my bedroom, and then he just ghosted me.
Okay. So he just disappeared.
Yeah.
All right.
And I don't like that. I'm not part of that. I know that that's just intentional infliction of emotional harm.
Right. Yeah.
And I know that.
This is about how far we got into the conversation.
Yeah, I know that. So, recently, he got a hold of me about a week ago. And,
after ghosting you.
Yeah.
For months.
But yeah, about 6 months maybe.
6 months. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And tried telling me that if you want to be my lover, you got to get with my friends.
That's original.
Yeah, totally. I mean, seriously, that is what
it sounds like it could be a song. He texted you.
I think it was. It might have been Messenger.
Like, okay, but he like didn't have the cojones to come to you and say it to your face.
No.
Like in real time.
No.
Okay, that's.
No. And he, like, made up with my ex-best friend, who he was not talking with either. Because he had my back and not her back and didn't like what she pulled on me. And told me that he was sleeping with her and some other girl and another girl. And if I wanted to be his lover, I had to get with his friends.
So basically, we're talking about somebody who had some very manipulating tactics that they used on my friend here. Okay, so it sounds like in the beginning, the relationship was really sweet. He probably said a lot of really nice things to you, did nice things for you.
Yeah, he had my back. He really had my back.
And that matters to you.
Yeah.
That's a value that's really important to you, correct?
Yeah, at the time, I really needed that.
Okay. Oh, were you going through some difficult times?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, something that I've never talked about on my channel, and something that we're just going to quick have a segue on, because everybody needs to hear about this. That is another thing. Okay, do we not talk about being in good working order when you start a relationship? Or if you have somebody arrive to you and they're broken, that what are you going to do? You're not going to go to the garage with your Amazon package and fix what's broken. You're going to send it back. And we need to do the same in relationships. Okay, so here this guy is finding her during a time when she's going through something difficult. Okay, he is intentionally seeking that low-hanging fruit that we talked about. Saying that you're low-hanging fruit doesn't necessarily mean that you're not as good as other people or you're not as attractive as other people. You can just be a wounded bird. And that's what we had in this case. So he was able to easily identify, as the probably narcissistic fuck that he is, that here's somebody that needs something that's not going to be very difficult for me to give. And when I give it to her, she's going to feel really good about it. And it's going to be really easy to ensnare her. That makes her low-hanging fruit. Nobody who's healthy and in their right frame of mind is going to try to get with you while you are in a bad way. Because nobody's trying to fix somebody else. Nobody's trying to be their savior, their mother, unless they think that they can get some additional affection for it. So I just wanted to put that out there because we never talk about that. But if you want some more information on somebody, the prime example is Chris Watts. When he met his wife, who he ended up murdering, she was having all these health problems. And he persisted. And she was like, no, you don't want to be around me. She made him go through things. That's one of the most infamous things that you're going to see if you watch the videos. But he pursued it. That's a warning sign. Right there. So, we went through the part, though, where he met up with her. And he was like, okay, she's in a position where she's not really 100% to be in a relationship. And he pursued it anyway. Red flag number 1. Then he did the love bombing, which probably came on too soon, you know, where he was too affectionate too quickly and, like, came in like gangbusters, because that's what they do.
Oh, yeah.
And then after you receive that love bombing, then they devalue you.
Oh, yeah. The ghosting. Oh,
right.
Oh, yeah.
This is classic what we're talking about when we're talking about emotional abuse and manipulation, because this guy has her going through a cycle of highs and lows with emotional feelings. She's unable to regulate how she's feeling. She's probably thinking about it way too much, because when it's good, it's so good, but when it's bad, it's really bad. And it's really hard because you're so attached to this person, because they come to you when you're in a moment of desperation, when you're going through something difficult, and they come to you in that desert position and they water that flower and they make you feel really good. And then they take away your supply.
Yep.
That's classic. This is an example of somebody going through the cycle of abuse that we've talked about before. I'm excited. All right, so I'm not excited for you because I know personally how much this sucks, but I'm excited because this is something that I've made videos about and I try to explain, but it's really difficult without getting super emotional, especially after you know what you've been through about it, and discussing my own situation. Excuse me. But again, if you're the person who's been through it and you're looking at it in retrospect, knowing what went on, because when you don't know, it's just like, yeah, that's kind of fucked up. But when you know what was going on, it's like, that's beyond fucked up. You're talking about somebody who is going by a playbook of manipulation and deceit.
Oh, yeah. I caught on, and it's number one, it's sick.
Yeah.
But I caught on, and I was able to laugh in his face, and, like, I feel good. Like,
okay, but where we have a concern, and this is definitely where we left off, was that it seems that they're still having some degree of contact. And if you're a regular viewer of my channel, one thing that you know for certain is that I am 100% anti-contact when we realize that somebody's a manipulator, with the small exception of if you cannot get away in the sense that you really need that job or you're dependent on another person temporarily, or of course if there's a legal co-parenting situation going on. But there is limited contact, and there are ways to do it, and there are ways to do it properly, and most people don't follow those rules. But in this case, none of it goes into that category. So why are you having contact with him?
he called today while I was driving.
Today.
And I hesitated on answering. And I wondered if I should.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Yeah, coulda, shoulda,
That was
woulda.
a song too.
Yeah. So he offered.
Bonus points if you sing it.
So it coulda, shoulda, woulda. No, I don't even know the song, but I
shoulda, woulda. Brian McKnight, baby. Brian McKnight. I have a feeling this live stream isn't working. And it's like, this is gold. We should be just filming it, but that's okay. We'll see after the fact.
He offered something back that I gave him to fix and make money off of.
Okay.
And I was like, I really don't need it back. Like, I'm not interested in that, but I'm
hearing
sold
this for
you.
the first time. Okay.
I sold you my son's electric guitar, and his heart is kind of attached to that, so I'd kind of like that back. Like, I don't care about the acoustic, because it's just
okay, wait.
a small acoustic. I already have one. I don't need it.
This is the first time I'm hearing about this. So you guys are getting some seriously raw action. Okay. Why did you sell it if his heart was attached to it?
I didn't know it, and I did not want it, and I just figured I would get my son another one.
Okay, so when did you figure out his heart was attached to it?
When he told me after I had gotten rid of it.
But you waited until today to address it?
When I got that phone call and was offered a guitar back.
So he offered it back before you said anything?
Yes. And then he offered me not my son's guitar, which I really do not want. The guitar that my son had because of where it came from and who it came from. like there's like a detachment there
Sure.
that I do not want with the guitar that either one of the guitars that I sold he can have. Just give me an electric back.
Right. Okay.
And he offered to do that because this guy's trying to open up his own shop as like music and records and selling music stuff.
Okay.
And if he'll give it to me for free, I'll give you thumbs up. And I don't necessarily really I'm not reaching for the contact with this guy, but if you give me a guitar for free, I mean, because he asked, like, well, we're still friends, right? I said, if I see you around, like, fucking laughing my fucking ass off. I put LMFAO. Like, really? Like, I was pretty down and dirty. I don't want to be friends with him.
Okay.
No.
And you shouldn't be. And this is what I am not popular because I don't say, like, yeah, be friends with your ex. Nope.
No, no, I don't want to be around him. I don't want to be around the too much.
But this is not a normal breakup. And this is what we talked about in my last video, even though it was almost 2 weeks ago. I'm so sorry, guys. There's been shit going on. So, this is not a normal breakup. If this was a normal breakup, you could be friends, you guys could hang out and do whatever, occasionally go get lunch. This is a breakup between somebody who is grade A supply, that's you, and a toxic manipulator or narcissist, which we don't diagnose here. It doesn't matter what they are. What matters is that they're toxic. And when you meet somebody who's toxic, doesn't matter what's causing it. It doesn't matter if they have some sort of disease or should be on medication. What matters is that you break the connection and get the fuck out.
Right. I agree. Totally.
Break the connection.
All right.
And that's the way. It is called no contact. None. And it involves blocking phone numbers. And it involves blocking them on Facebook. But the key, obviously, you block them on every way that you can. And if they come to you, you ignore them. You shut the door in their face. You don't even speak to them. You shut the door. But also, you don't pursue them at all. You don't look at their social media. You don't reread text messages. You don't ask people about them. And that's the key. And that's the hard part. And that's the part where if you're unable to just be like, well, yeah, why would I, I'm okay with that. Yes, you have that human connection with another person where you feel, you have empathy. But this jackass doesn't.
Right.
So that's what sets us apart from them. You have to get past the empathy and you have to go into survival mode. Because if you allow this to continue, all you're doing is giving him fuel to continue to treat you like shit. And he will. And he'll do things like contact you so he can tell you who he's sleeping with. Like, you really need to know that. Oh, not to mention, they're your friends. Triangulation. Okay? And also, he's hurting you because he enjoys it. And it does hurt. Nobody wants to hear that, somebody that they cared about is doing, you had an intimate relationship with this guy. You don't want to think about him being with other people because you're a monogamous person, which is, he should have respected. But of course he didn't, because he's a manipulator and probably a narcissist. And so he did what he did, but then he really wanted to let you know because it would have that residual benefit of him being like, this is going to bother her.
I almost felt like he was sitting next to my ex-best friend trying to gather information.
Is that why he slept with her?
Very well possible.
I mean, I can get information out of somebody without
I mean, I don't even care. Like when
this is like
when
the
people are,
craziest. This is the craziest show I've done yet.
I'm serious. Like that's the way I felt. I had written him off dead last week.
Okay, but you're still answering the phone. It doesn't matter.
I know.
Dead. He's not dead to you.
I guess. Yeah, he was still in my contact list.
Yes. Why?
I don't even have an answer for that.
I do. That's what we talked about the time before.
Like, yeah, you still want that. You still crave that. Right?
Stockholm syndrome.
No.
Trauma bond. That's what that is. It's more difficult, and that's why it's difficult for us. This is what differentiates that breakup process too, because you can't just break up with them and continue on down a happy path. You know, they're going to keep with you and hurting you and manipulating you and trying to do all their tactics. And no matter what, because you're an empathic person, it will get to you and it will hold you back from being able to have good, solid relationships. I'm right.
No, I actually don't feel that way. Like, I'm friends with this girl that came from Portugal.
Okay.
And she's very happy to be a U.S. citizen.
Okay, that's good.
Because she likes the power that women have.
Okay, right.
And the women power here.
And we do have, compared to some other countries, we do have more, which is awesome. We have more rights and things like that, which is great. We could still use more, just saying.
Well, her and I, like, became extremely bonded.
Mm-hmm.
Like, both going through separation of men. And we had this other person in common that we have discussed tonight.
Hold on a second.
And I was able to smear his name about everything we have discussed tonight.
Did she come to you or did you go to her? How did you guys connect? Again, this is the
He
first time
connected us.
Oh, fuck.
She laughed so hard. She loves me and hugged me and loves me. Yes. Oh, she was so happy of everything I said to this person.
You guys, I hope this is taking.
This was a week ago, though.
Best damn information. I swear, this girl right here is a muse. She's a muse. Okay, hold on a second.
I had to smear his name, and then
You've known her for a week. Is that...
No. I've known her, like, a lot longer than that. I've known her for, like, 2 years.
Okay. But he introduced y'all?
Okay, so I've known her since last summer. So a year. Since last July. As long as... I knew Dan longer than that, but...
So this has been going on with this guy for a year?
Between dating and ghosting, yeah.
I think we just sneeze. I don't even know what to say at this point.
I'm just done with him now. He really, I don't know.
I'm done with him now. But he's still in your contact list.
Yeah, he did call me today.
That's not being done with somebody.
I understand what you're saying. You are right.
I really hope this video takes.
Gosh, the one place I go out in town. It's like the one place I go.
That's where he goes.
No, he goes everywhere.
Okay.
He goes everywhere. I go one place. one place, and if he shows up there, I haven't seen him there in forever, thank God. So that's cool. I don't want to see him there. I haven't seen him there. I don't want to.
Okay, so what would you do if you saw him there, though? You'd talk to him.
I don't know. I'd probably leave. I definitely wouldn't make an effort. I'd make an effort to avoid him. I don't think highly of him. I think he's really a piece of shit.
Here's what's
To contact that like me, that was so disrespectful. I don't need to be treated like that.
Well, I know you don't need to be treated like that, but if you continue contact with him, that's how he's going to treat you. Except he might occasionally be nice to keep that roller coaster going, because that's what they do.
I got better things to do with my time. Like the hesitation to answer the phone call today, I don't know, maybe I just won't answer it next time.
I hope so. I hope so. Well, because...
But a free electric guitar to replace my mistake.
But you can make arrangements for him to drop it off to somebody else.
Yeah, he can just...
You don't even need to see him.
Right.
Because they love using property as a way to get back in touch with you. That's...
Oh, I don't need that, no.
I hate that fucking tactic.
Yeah, I don't need that, no. I mean, he even texted me, like, we're still friends, I love everybody.
Of course.
No, I fucking laughed, like, I don't want to hang out with you.
Well, it's one of those things, too, where most of the time, they want to be friends so that they can keep you nearby.
Oh, yeah, somebody to fall back on in case.
Always.
Yeah,
you'd be part of the
I'm
group.
not your fallback. No,
Right.
I'm not your second plan. No.
Right.
So, no. When everything else falls through, don't call me.
Let's hope she sticks with that.
I really have, like, moved on and found other people. He is not on... I don't call him. I did answer today, yes. But I don't waste my time on him.
One of the areas that I have a problem is that when they're able to get through, they will continue to keep pursuing you. They like to test the temperature like you do before you get in a pool or get in the shower, where you feel the water and see how it feels. And that's what he was doing, essentially. He's testing the water. If you answer the phone, you're lukewarm and he might be able to jump right in. And I don't mean to keep being a Debbie Downer. It's just, that's what this channel is about. And that's what the education and awareness part of it is about. We have to be real, or these fuckers are going to keep getting to us.
I was real right off the bat saying, I don't know if I should be answering this phone call.
Right. But
not that they even hear that when you say it.
Did. And so that's all I heard. He
right.
was just like, I'm in.
The only thing that was talked about were the guitars. There was no, how are you doing? I gave him the time of day, right?
That's all it takes.
Right.
And the thing is, every time they get to you, even if the next time you don't answer the phone, it's going to take a few times before it's established that you're not going to answer the phone for him. Like, he's going to try a couple times, even if you don't answer the phone. And it's about being diligent and persistent, because every time, that's trauma. That Hoover attempt, because that's what that is. It's a Hoover attempt where they try to suck you back in. That Hoover attempt causes you to go back to a place in your mind. And it's very hard to recover from it, and they know that. The average emotional abuse type relationship takes 7 attempts to get through. That's according to some studies with some psychiatric board. It's a fact. Well, it's well researched. How's that? I won't say it's a fact, but it's very well researched that it takes 7 attempts to break free from one of these relationships. It is very much, like I've said before, like trying to quit smoking or trying to drug. It is like trying to drug, but it's ultimately, you know, trying to break free from these people is like trying to break off of drugs. And that is, you know, it can be very, very difficult. It can be very painful. It can make you sick. And these toxic relationships, as we've talked about before, I keep saying that they can also make you very sick. While you're going through these ups and downs with your emotions, there are chemicals in your brain that are being released that are negative, and they are causing you. There's also positive releases in the beginning with that love bombing. It's releasing all this dopamine. It's similar to using narcotics, where it gives you this great euphoria, but then you crash. You try to get off of it, you become very dope sick, and the next thing you know, you're sticking a needle back in your arm. It's the same concept with these toxic relationships. And so that's why we're here. And I'm not sure how well my live is working right now. I really hope that we're not losing this, because this is great information, and this is exactly what this channel is about. And that's exactly why I've been doing my toxic talks. And I'm sorry I haven't been doing much poetry. I haven't been doing much of anything. Like I said, one of my recent videos, I've had some problems with my health. I'm taking care of it, and we'll be back on here on a pretty regular basis, and I'll be doing a lot more poetry shoutouts because I enjoy that. And I enjoy interacting with you guys. So,
Peace.
should we wrap it up?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to wrap up this live. Sorry we didn't have anybody on here other than one in the beginning. Weird. So if you're coming on here after the fact, if you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing. And don't forget to ring the bell, because I upload very randomly these days. But my upload schedule will improve. I know I keep saying that. Life is happening, guys. But we're still living. And that's what frickin' matters, right? All right, guys, thanks.
Peace.
Love and light.